Okay, so to understand why this matters for you, first, we have to understand one simple idea. And that is that the US dollar has no value. And when I say no value, I mean no real value. I mean, it has value because we sort of agree it does, but it's not backed by anything. A dollar is just a piece of paper or, a digit on a screen these days. And for most of the last century, it did have value. It was backed by something. It was backed by physical gold. Up until 1971, the US dollar was tied to the value of gold, or tied to gold. So the government couldn't simply print money out of thin air because every dollar was, in theory, backed by real metal sitting in a vault. Then in 1971, like I've talked about many times in my videos, Nixon made a generational fumble and ended that backing. The dollar stopped being backed by gold, and from that point on, the government could print as much money as it wanted. And since that moment, every single president in the last 50 years has printed money and racked up a ton of debt. They just stacked debt. Actually, you know what? Clinton was the only one, funnily enough, to not do that. He had a budget surplus for most of his presidency. And honestly, this doesn't mean I like Clinton, so chill out, will you? Last time I mentioned this, people were like, I can't believe you like Bill Clinton. I mean, I'm just pointing out a fact. He literally did. Anyway, so when they cut that link to gold, they left this old frozen accounting price of $42 on the government's books. 42 an ounce. It's crazy. It was set decades ago and it's simply never been updated. So today we have a very strange situation where the market says gold is worth like 4,500 an ounce and the Treasury's books still say $42 an ounce. And that gap is a problem for us gold holders. And now, all of a sudden, after 55 years, the US is making noise about repricing gold. And counting up all the gold in Fort Knox too, that's the other thing they want to do. Now, to understand why that gap all of a sudden matters, you have to understand the problem the US government is trying to solve with this. And I mean, it's a bloody big problem. The United States has roughly $39 trillion in debt. It's almost 40 trillion. And that debt is growing by about 2.6 trillion every single year. So the government now spends over 1 trillion a year just paying interest on the debt, which is roughly 3 billion per day. They are literally having to borrow money to pay off their debt. So that's like you paying off a credit card with another credit card. It's not good. It's a very bad situation. By the way, guys, if you want to stay updated with what's happening on the markets and my personal strategies, make sure you subscribe to my free newsletter. Like I said, it's free. I publish a report on everything you need to know about the markets every single morning. Basically, I read 20 to 30 articles. I summarize them so you don't have to. There's a link below.